Hello students, welcome to Job Coding class. In today's class, we will start with your unit 4, that is managing exception applet program. So in this unit, the fourth unit will be divided into two parts. In the first part, we will be learning about managing exception. Okay, how we can handle the exception, what are the different types of exception, how to handle the exception, what are the keywords used for handling exception, what are the different types of exception are available in Java, and so on. How we can throw the exception. Okay. The second part of the program, we will be learning about applet programming. So what is applet, how to create applet, how we can create dynamic content, how we can run the applet program, okay, and so on. So these are the things you will be learning in the unit 4. Okay. In this unit, we will be learning how exception and error handling works, uh, how to use a try, throw, catch to detect, indicate, the handle exception respectively. So this try block is used to detect the exception, throw is used to indicate, and this handle is catch is used to handle the exception. To use final block to release the resources. Okay, this final block is mainly used to release the resources. How to stack unwinding enables exceptions not caught in scope of to be caught and underscore. Okay, how to stack the trace helps in the debugging. How exceptions are arranged in an exception class hierarchy. So that is what is the class hierarchy of exception. How to declare the new exception classes, how to create a joint exception to maintain a complete stack of trace information. So these are some of the information we'll be learning in the exception and applet programming unit 4. Okay. So first we will see what is an exception. Exception indicate a problem that occurs during the program's execution. Okay. So it is a problem that occurs during the program execution. It means that it terminates the program execution program. Okay. Exception handling. Resolving the exception that may occur so program can continue or terminate gracefully. Okay, once the exception occurs in your program, you need to handle the exception. It means that uh, you need to resolve the exception that occurs in your program by using different keywords so that programs continue its execution. Okay, exception handling enables programmer to create programs that are more robust and fault-prone. Okay, suppose that if you don't handle exception in your program, the program will terminate abnormally. So to avoid such situation, you need to have exception handling conditions in your program whenever the exception occurs, so that you can develop more robust and fault-prone application. So exception handling helps to improve programmers fault tolerance. Okay. So once you handle exceptions in your program, you can expect less faults in the program, or a program becomes more fault tolerant. So next, you can see the example for the exception handling. Array index out of bound exception. An attempt made to access element past the end of the array. Okay, so when you are trying to access the element that is out of index. Okay, suppose that you created an array of index size 5. If you try to access the sixth element from the array, you will get array index out of bound exception. Okay, class next example is class cast exception. Okay, so an attempt is made to catch the object that does not have an is relation with the type. Okay, in such situation, you will get a class cast exception. This is one more example for the exception. So next we have null pointer exception. Okay, so when a null value reference is used where the object is accepted. Okay, when you when you're trying to access an object reference value. Okay, suppose that object is assigned to null. So in such situation, you will get a null pointer exception. Okay, the object is pointing to null. Types of error. Okay, errors are broadly classified into two types. Okay, so first one is the compile time error, second one is the runtime error. So this compile time error is nothing but the error that occurs at the compile time of the program is known as the compile time error, and the second type is runtime error. So this runtime error is nothing but the error that occurs at the runtime of the program. So next we will see one by one compile time. All the syntax errors will be detected and displayed by the Java compiler, and therefore these errors are known as the compile time error. If you made any syntactical error in your program, such errors will be identified by the Java compiler. Okay, that's why these errors are known as the compile time errors. So whenever compiler display an error, it will not create a dot class file. Okay. So suppose that we made any syntactical mistakes and you try to run that program. So after running the compiling the program, so the compiler or Java will not create a dot class file because so your program contains error. So it is therefore necessary that we can fix all the errors before we can successfully compile the program. Okay, so that before you run successfully program, you need to fix all the errors. Okay, so that program successfully compile and run. So just consider this program. Okay, this program contains an error message. So here we have a class called error is small. So we have a main method. Here we have a main method. Next, so inside main method we have a system.out.println printing a hello Java message. Okay. So after this main method, we must be having a curly braces. That curly braces is missing here. So here the semicolon is missing. So missings are missing semicolon, missing brackets. Okay. So this is the example for compile time error. So when you compile such example or such program, so you will get a errors like missing curly braces, missing semicolon. So next we will discuss about the runtime errors. So sometimes a program may compile successfully, creating a class file, but may not run properly. Okay. So in such situation, you will get a runtime error. Okay. The program may compile successfully, but by creating the class file, but may not run properly. You may get the wrong output. Such program may produce wrong result due to wrong logic or may uh, terminate due to errors such as the stack overflow. Okay, so even the program may successfully compile and create the class file, but when you run such program, it may produce the wrong result due to the wrong logic. So you can just consider the example dividing an integer by 0. So when you try to divide an integer by 0, that is not possible. So in such situation, you get a wrong output or you get a runtime error. Accessing an element that is out of bounds of an array. So these are the example for runtime error. So just consider this example where here we created a class called error. So inside the main, just bracket is missing, just assume that the bracket is there. Okay, we have the three variable int a equal to 10, int b equal to 5, int c equal to 5. Next, we have to perform the division operation. So int x equal to a divided by b minus c. Okay, value of A is 10, value of B is 5, and value of C is 5. So 5 minus 5 is 0. So here we are trying to divide a 10 by 0. So at this time we will get an error. So division by 0 is not possible in Java. So next we will try discussing about the exception. Okay. So we'll continue this in the next class.